Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Clover and I am your new resident Kelpie. Now, I know what you must be thinking. Clover, aren't Kelpies human-eating water demons? And yes, we are. Great job on knowing your different mythological creatures. Lucky for y'all, I've already eaten breakfast. So instead of roasting you over a spit until medium rare, we are going to move on to our second lesson of Rosetta Stone's Korean today. I hope you all enjoyed the first lesson and are excited to go on to the second one. I'm also supplementing a little bit with Duolingo on my phone. And I do have some books as well that I'm just kind of like casually doing it. I'm not trying to give myself too much guff about it. Before we go on, obviously I've got the music going, but we're going to want to obviously hear the vocals in the lesson, so I will probably have to mess around with that a little bit, and every time I click off of the Rosetta Stone page, it dims, so just be ready for that. So let's go on to core lesson 1.2. And it'll probably ask me for the whole like mic thing again. Restarting my score. Oh, I hope everyone is doing wonderful. And that you guys are all getting through. Currently, as I'm recording this, it is just the beginnings of February, so it's quite chilly and quite snowy where I am. So I hope anybody who is dealing with that is staying warm. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go.
여자아이가 책을 읽어요.
Okay, I think the music is a little too loud. So what I'm gonna do is it's gonna get a little quieter for a second. I'm gonna move some stuff around. Okay, let's see. Let's check that again.
여자아이가 책을 읽어요.
I think I like that better. So, 여자아이가 책을 읽어요. So, last lesson, I am going to be yawning. It is currently 6 a.m. for me. We were doing 여자, 남자, 여자아이, 남자아이, girl, woman, man, girl, boy, and then at the very end, we had done a little bit of new words, and that is the new word. One of them was 책, which is book, and as they are wont to do, everyone in these pictures is doing the same thing with the same item. So they're trying to get you to pay attention to the words and the picture in front of you. Sorry, I lost my brain cells for a second there. And to put it together on your own. So, as we have learned, 여자아이, the ga is an added ending, which I believe that they will get into in later lessons. So 여자아이 is girl, 책 is book. So if we go down to find the picture with a girl with a book, she is reading. So we can assume that the 읽어요 is the verb reading, to read. So I'm going to click this picture.
여자가 책을 읽어요.
여자가 책을 읽어요. So again, 여자, woman, 책, book, and as we have discovered by looking at the pictures, 읽어요 is reading, so picking the woman, who's reading a book.
남자가 책을 읽어요.
남자가 책을 읽어요. So 남자, without any extra to it, the ga does not matter. 남자 is man, so man, 책, book, 읽어요, reading. So the man is reading a book.
남자아이가 책을 읽어요.
남자아이가 책을 읽어요. And of course, process of elimination notwithstanding, we already know 남자아이, boy, 책, book, new verb 읽어요, reading. So the boy is reading a book. And onward and upward we go.
여자가 밥을 먹어요.
Alright, and this is a sentence that we are very familiar with from the last lesson. 여자가 밥을 먹어요. The woman is eating.
여자가 신문을 읽어요.
Okay, another one where they're going back to the object that they gave us at the end of last lesson. 여자가 신문을 읽어요. 신문 is newspaper. And then, obviously, from the very beginning, we now know that 읽어요 is reading. So, woman, newspaper, reading. The woman reading a newspaper.
여자가 달려요.
여자가 달려요. This is a verb that we learned last time. The woman is running.
여자가 차를 마셔요.
여자가 차를 마셔요. This is from the first lesson. 여자가 차, tea, and 마셔요, drinking. So, the woman is drinking tea. More power to her. I'm not a tea girl.
남자아이가 책을 읽어요.
Okay, so with the ones that are just audio, and there's obviously no hunger to look at to help us, I'll be playing them twice at least so that we listen to them, and then if I personally need it more, then I will do it more. Obviously, all of these pictures have to do with boys, not men, so at least we know that they're going to be 남자아이, so that's at least the first part of the sentence that they're going to be giving us. So here's our two listens.
남자아이가 책을 읽어요. 남자아이가 책을 읽어요.
Okay, I'm hearing 남자아이가 책을 읽어요. So the boy is reading a book.
남자아이가 밥을 먹어요.
Alright, I'm pretty sure that I know what it is at this point, but we are going to still do our two listens. It does not hurt, and it's always really good to just have the listening in your, to listen over and over again.
남자아이가 밥을 먹어요. 남자아이가 밥을 먹어요.
남자아이가 밥을 먹어요. That one is much easier because we went through so much 밥을 먹어요 in the first lesson. So, the boy is eating. I'm interested in what the heck this boy is eating because it kind of looks like mandarin oranges, some chocolate, and then I'm confused.
남자아이가 물을 마셔요. 남자아이가 물을 마셔요. 남자아이가 물을 마셔요.
Alright. 남자아이가 물을 마셔요. So the boy is drinking water.
남자아이가 달려요.
Also, quick thing, the boy is also sitting on the counter, which is terrible. Where are your parents? Alright, the two listens.
남자아이가 달려요. 남자아이가 달려요.
Of course, we have process of elimination, but because we are so good at listening and we have been really paying attention during our lessons, 남자아이가 달려요 means the boy is running. He looks like he's having so much fun. And then they give you the hunger, so you can write them down. I'm not necessarily focused on writing at the moment. I have some health issues that make it hard for my arms and stuff. Plus, the writing portion is not the problem I have. It's the speaking, the remembering, the bringing the words up in my brain to be able to make sentences without any help. So, right now writing is at the back of my mind for it.
남자아이가 밥을 먹어요.
Alright, we're back for regular sentences, and it does look like all of these pictures are... Okay, alright, I know what we're doing today. So, looking at the sentences or pictures, so we have one girl, multiple girls, one boy, multiple boys. So I do believe we are now going to get into plural. So the sentence they gave us, 남자아이가 밥을 먹어요, is a sentence we've seen over and over again. The boy is eating, so I'm going to choose this boy with this delicious looking pizza that I'm jealous of. I'm confused by how many pieces it might be cut into, but I'm going to pick this one, and then we'll see what it gives us, how it might change.
여자아이가 물을 마셔요.
Okay. 여자아이가 물을 마셔요. Another sentence we are very familiar with. The girl is drinking water.
여자아이들이 차를 마셔요.
Alright, now they've added something else in there. 여자아이들이 차를 마셔요. So the 들, this little additive between the 여자아이 and this ending, and so usually it would be 여자아이가, but as you'll learn later on, depending on if something ends in a vowel or a consonant, depends on what this ending will be. So now because it ends in a consonant, it then has to change the ending. But that's neither here nor there. The der is what we are focusing on. That is what is making the girl plural. So 여자아이들이 is girls, and they are drinking tea.
남자아이들이 밥을 먹어요.
남자아이들이 밥을 먹어요. And again, the dr is added to the end of the 남자아이 for multiple boys. The boys are eating. It just actually really sounds fun too to add the dr to stuff.
남자가 차를 마셔요.
Okay, we're doing some matching. So, this picture. 남자가 차를 마셔요. He's just drinking tea. That's a cute little cup. I'm kind of jealous. Now it wants us to look at this picture and pick. So, let's look at the picture first. We've got multiple men. So, 남자. And then multiple, so 들. And then they are drinking water. So, we can eliminate these two sentences because these talk about women first because they start with 여자아이. So, 남자들이 물을 마셔요.
남자들이 물을 마셔요.
Okay, so this is one girl, so we could just stick with 여자아이, and you can sometimes the picture in your mind, if you think too hard about it, will give you different ideas about what the verb might be, but we're just beginning lessons. They're not usually going to give you a new verb without some context to it. So if you look at all the pictures and you're looking at all of these sentences, then you can kind of put it together. So because of the sentences that we are given, we can take away this one because this is der and we're looking for a singular girl. We can take away this one because this is 남자들, which is men, which is not what we want. So this is our sentence that we're going to choose. 여자아이가 달려요. So they are saying that the girl is running.
여자아이가 달려요.
In my opinion, she also kind of looks like she's playing, but we don't know that verb yet. Okay, so now we have multiple girls, and because of the pattern that we're seeing, we're going to be using 달려요. So we're just looking for the sentence that reflects that. So this one only has one girl running, because it's the same sentence here. This one is talking about men drinking water, like this one up here. So this sentence is the one that we want. 여자아이들이 달려요.
여자아이들이 달려요.
I think we're doing pretty good so far, guys.
여자가 밥을 먹어요.
Alright, and we are continuing. So the one that we just did was men and girls. So now they want us to just practice with women or woman and boy, the words. So this one, 여자가 밥을 먹어요. The girl is eating. Now we have multiple, or the women, sorry. I just constantly in English it doesn't necessarily matter. At least not when I'm talking to a computer. But obviously it matters when constructing sentences. So, the women are eating. So we can eliminate these two sentences because this one starts with 남자아이들이, which is boys, multiple boys. This one is 남자아이가, which is singular boy. And so we want 여자들이 밥을 먹어요. So, and then this one I feel like doesn't flow as nicely as some of the others with the "들" added, so I have to practice this one a lot. So, 여자들이 밥을 먹어요.
여자들이 밥을 먹어요.
I don't know, for me it just doesn't feel, even though the 자 is the same as 남자, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. So, these are using our newer verb from the beginning of the lesson. So this picture is of a singular boy reading, so we can obviously get rid of this one because it is the woman. So then we can look for the singular boy, which is 남자아이가 책을 읽어요.
남자아이가 책을 읽어요.
And now we have multiple boys reading a book, so we can eliminate this one because this is using 여자. And then we just have to look for the "들" added to boy, so we will pick this sentence. 남자아이들이 책을 읽어요.
남자아이들이 책을 읽어요.
Alright.
여자들이 달려요.
Alright, so we are back to listening. So again, we will do 2 listens before either I need more for my brain or we pick. But looking at the pictures, we have women and men running, and we have women and men reading a newspaper. So now we can already kind of know what words are probably going to be in the sentences that we've already learned. So let's do our first 2 listens.
여자들이 달려요. 여자들이 달려요.
여자들이 달려요. So that is women running.
여자들이 신문을 읽어요.
And sometimes it'll feel like they're giving you the same, so sometimes it will be like, oh, the pictures in order go this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. And sometimes it'll stay in that pattern, but as you can see, they moved around the pictures to make it just that little bit harder. Like, you do have to pay attention to which picture you are going to click on. And I have made that mistake before. Here's our 2 listens to the sentence.
여자들이 신문을 읽어요. 여자들이 신문을 읽어요.
여자들이 신문을 읽어요. The women are reading a newspaper.
남자들이 달려요.
2 listens.
남자들이 달려요. 남자들이 달려요.
남자들이 달려요. The men are running.
남자들이 신문을 읽어요. 남자들이 신문을 읽어요. 남자들이 신문을 읽어요.
남자들이 신문을 읽어요. The men are reading a newspaper. Do people actually surround, this makes more sense to me, being at a table and like this. Do people read like this behind people's shoulders? Because that's really creepy to me. And then of course you can visually see the sentences if you want to write them down. Feel free to obviously pause. I'm not writing down, so we will move on.
여자아이들이 책을 읽어요.
Okay, so now let's look at the pictures. Everyone looks to be reading books. So, and then we have, I think it's just doing multiples and working with 여자 and 여자아이. So let's look at our sentence. 여자아이들이 책을 읽어요. So, girls reading a book. We're reading books, but they don't. The dr for multiple is usually not put on objects from my understanding and from what I have seen. It's usually like people that, or like the subject of a sentence that will get multiple, not an object. So I will pick this picture of these two girls reading books.
여자가 책을 읽어요.
여자가 책을 읽어요. So single woman reading a book. So I will pick this one. Very aesthetic.
여자들이 책을 읽어요.
여자들이 책을 읽어요. And as you can see, this picture for 여자들, women, is older women than we've seen in a lot of the pictures, but there's no differentiation currently in our sentences for this age. As we get into it, there are different forms of Korean depending on who you are speaking to. Somebody older, somebody in a higher position than you, depending on like if they are a teacher and stuff like that, to show respect. But right now we are in the basic sentences, so we are just going by gender at this point. So 여자들이 책을 읽어요, the women reading.
여자아이가 책을 읽어요.
여자아이가 책을 읽어요. The girl is reading a book. Good. Reading books is good for you.
남자아이들
남자아이들
남자아이들 여자아이들
여자아이들
여자아이들 남자들
남자들
남자들 여자들
여자들.
여자들
And of course, I believe I said it in the first lesson, just because up till this point, all of these had not had a speaking part, it's pretty detrimental to not just be saying it out loud, because as you do hear yourself say it, and then you're hearing how it's pronounced for the lessons over and over again, you'll naturally get a bit closer to the inflections that they want, and then by the time we get here, you are probably doing the inflection and the sounds more correctly and everything like that. So it really does hurt to not be just following along vocally, even though that's not what the lesson is asking of you.
남자아이들이 밥을 먹어요.
남자아이들이 밥을 먹어요.
남자아이들이 밥을 먹어요. 여자아이들이 달려요.
여자아이들이 달려요.
여자아이들이 달려요. 여자들이 주스를 마셔요.
여자들이 주스를 마셔요.
여자들이 주스를 마셔요. 남자들이 신문을 읽어요.
남자들이 신문을 읽어요.
남자들이 신문을 읽어요.
On that last one, I really almost slurred into the 남자. These sentences make me feel so good about myself because I'm supplementing during the day with free Duolingo on my phone. And I did like the whole test at the beginning of it to have it just place me somewhere. And so it placed me a little higher because, again, I've been in and out of learning Korean and exposing myself to it for a number of years. And so right now it has me learning airport stuff. And these sentences I can say so smoothly. And when it comes to the Duolingo ones that I'm at right now, with the way that it is structured and some of the words, like the word for airport is 공항, but there's like the H symbol in there, which has confused my brain so much, and it just feels like I'm not grasping the sound at all. And so these make me feel really good about myself currently.
여자가 주스를 마셔요.
Alright, so back to standard procedure, it looks like. 여자가 주스를 마셔요. Juice is, 주스 is juice, so the woman drinking juice.
남자가 달려요.
남자가 달려요, the man running.
여자가 책을 읽어요.
여자가 책을 읽어요, the woman reading a book.
남자아이가 밥을 먹어요.
남자아이가 밥을 먹어요, the boy eating, and his face is hilarious. And also it makes me want pasta.
여자가 차를 마셔요.
Okay, it looks like it's kind of maybe easing us down and just kind of doing a like last minute rewind and replay before giving us, because at the end of the first one it gave us some new stuff, so maybe that's what's gonna happen next. 여자가 차를 마셔요, the woman drinking tea in a very, very cute cup and with a cute oh, I can see like the strainer, so like I really kind of want one of these even though I don't drink tea.
여자들이 밥을 먹어요.
여자들이 밥을 먹어요. As we have learned through this lesson, there is the multiple, so 여자들이 is women, so women eating food.
남자가 달려요.
남자가 달려요. The man is running, and he's looking very stylish in his suit. I don't think that's necessarily the way to go with the shoes that you're wearing.
남자들이 신문을 읽어요.
남자들이 신문을 읽어요. So as we've learned throughout, 남자들이 is the multiple for men. 신문, newspaper. 읽어요, reading. So the men are reading a newspaper. We're getting there, buds. We only got a couple more.
남자가 달려요.
Okay, so some more reading ones. And so let's look at the pictures real quick that they're giving us to set our brain in motion. All of the pictures are running, so the verb we're already going to have is 달려요, so we really only need to listen and differentiate what the subject is, because we know that the verb is going to be running, so we still will do our 2 listens.
남자가 달려요. 남자가 달려요.
남자가 달려요, so the man is running. At least these guys, I mean, kids will run in anything, but these guys are like fitness ready. They're in their running wear.
여자가 달려요. 여자가 달려요. 여자가 달려요.
여자가 달려요. So the woman who's running.
여자아이들이 달려요. 여자아이들이 달려요. 여자아이들이 달려요.
여자아이들이 달려요. I wonder too if they did this one because it put you in the singular 2 in a row, or it gave you multiples of the single version, and it wants you to really pay attention for when that there is there. So 여자아이들이 달려요. Boop. You guys are doing awesome. I'm so proud of you for getting this far. Even if you have struggled, even if you're not sure, like, just trying, just exposing yourself is a step. I would know. I've been interested in Korean since 2011 and I'm still not fluent. So, y'all are doing at least just as well as I am.
남자들이 요리를 해요.
And here we go, our new verb. So, everything we've learned up to this point remains the same. We know how to say man, woman, boy, girl. We know how to do the multiples, and so now we are learning a new verb. I constantly forget this verb. And again, I've been through this lesson multiple times, and I have used multiple sources and ways to expose myself to Korean. I constantly forget this verb, and it's not even that hard. But you'll see that it is a different form. And I'm not sure if it really gets into why, and I don't know if I would be able to properly explain it, because yes, I kind of understand the concept, but I don't want to confuse you guys. So we're just going to look at it as is and keep it combined. So, our sentence, 남자들이 요리를 해요. So, this is three separate words. 남자들이, obviously we know, is men. Now, 요리를 is separate from 해요. So don't write them smushed together. It is not one long word, it is two separate sections. But the 요리를 해요 altogether means to cook, or cooking in this instance, because you don't have this is conjugated. So for now, we will stick with just the two words 요리를 and 해요 is cooking. It is when you get into conjugation, which, God, we're not there ever. His least favorite part of any language learning. It makes more sense along the way, sorta kinda. But we're just going to stick with basic understanding at this point. So, what we have are learning today is cooking. So, 남자들이 요리를 해요. The men are cooking.
남자가 요리를 해요.
And it doesn't help sometimes. Sometimes they'll give us long sentences and lay it out in this way, but then they cut it off like this. But now you can see there is a space between 요리를 and 해요. So they are two separate words and two separate parts of the verb that we're using. 남자가 요리를 해요. The man is cooking.
여자가 요리를 해요.
여자가 요리를 해요. The woman is cooking. I actually kind of really want a hot plate like this, because then I wouldn't have to deal with my stupid propane oven or stove. But, so the woman is cooking. Boop. And we are almost done.
남자가 수영을 해요.
Okay, so they are giving us two new verbs today. And as you can see, it is set up in the same way as cooking is. So we are doing swimming. Same concept of the subjects that we already know, boy, girl, man, woman, plurals there. Swimming, 수영을 해요. Again, separated parts, but all together mean swimming. So what we have is 남자가 수영을 해요. The man is swimming, so a click of this one over here.
여자아이가 수영을 해요.
I always forget swimming too. The U sound into the y'all sound always really messes with my brain. 여자아이가 수영을 해요. So singular, girl. So I'll pick this one over here.
남자아이들이 수영을 해요.
남자아이들이 수영을 해요. So 남자아이들, multiple boys swimming. So I'm thinking this one. It doesn't really show us, but he's wearing shorts and not a one piece or a two piece. So I'm assuming this is a boy. So we'll click this picture.
여자들이 수영을 해요.
여자들이 수영을 해요. So women. The women are swimming. And I like this because it also gave us a girl and then women. So you see the 여자아이, 여자, and the same with 남자 and 남자아이. And then moving around where their plural is. So the women are swimming. You'd think I would really know this one by now because I love swimming. But I don't. Great job, everyone! We made it! And we've learned so much today. And so we can assume that in the next lesson we will expand on those verbs. And they didn't teach us any new objects. this time around. So I'm assuming that maybe we will be getting new objects in the next lesson. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you showing up, trying, listening, because that is a really good step. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, month, year, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!